Mingtong Gu, welcome to the OP.
Thank you. Thank you, Sean. Great to be here with everyone.
I promised you that we would go off the wall, but we'll start slow and basic. So please introduce yourself and tell people what it is that you do.
Yeah, I'm a Qigong master teacher, founder of the Qi Center and Southwest Sanctuary is a retreat center. And so I teach Qigong, wisdom healing Qigong, which is a very ancient tradition from China and over 5,000 years history. So now we need this so much more than any time. So that's my life dedication. Now also I just written a book and launching a global movement for coming home to embodied awakening.
What does coming home to embodied awakening actually mean?
Yeah. First of all, it's really recognizing the problem we're facing, like awakening to the truth. The truth is we living so much above the neck, above the shoulder. So disconnect from here. So much in the thinking, you know what I mean? Now the thinking is outsourcing to the digital world, to the AI, to everything else, So we're losing the connection with us here. And that's the first part of the awakening to the truth. So second part is awakening to truth is what is this body? What is inside of us? And really I'm realizing it's not what we think. This body is not what we think. So simply recognizing the truth without this body, I do not exist as a human being. Without this body, I cannot experience life as a human being. And without this body, my soul cannot evolve in this lifetime. So awakening to that deeper truth. And the third is basically realizing this body, as I shared already, is everything who we are. It's not this mental thing. It's not this like consciousness as existed as a kind of a ghost by itself. Without this body, I do not exist. Period. Period. So that is really quite a simple, profound truth we forgot as human being. But the point is, right now, if we don't come back to this body, we're going to lose this because the technology is going to take us to another direction, to like walking ghost, basically. The idea of implementing consciousness into the machine so we don't have to deal with the pain, the discomfort, the human experience of pain, the joy, love, touch, this is all the feeling inside of us. That's what will make us human, So the next one is really, I'm speaking of coming home to the embodied awakening, is really about recognizing so much bypass. So not only in the, in the mental world, right, performance and leadership and whatever we're doing is all about the mind, how performing. So like realizing the direct experience is creating fulfillment beyond the mental performance and realizing there's so much bypass even in the spiritual world is thinking enlightenment is somewhere above here, somewhere, go somewhere else instead of coming here. So that's it, a few example of deeper discovery, deeper truth.
I like the way that you said that. And one thing that I work with my clients around is dropping from the head into the heart. And the way that I talk about it and think about it is the head, the ego, the default mode network of the brain is one way of experiencing consciousness and awareness. Whereas the heart, which also has neurons and also has a powerful electrical charge that operates our body through the vortex, doesn't have an ego. Your heart doesn't have an ego. My heart doesn't have an ego. And when people can connect down to literally drop down from their head. I'm Sean and I do podcasts and I've got a mustache and I'm important and I'm a father and people listen to me, and dropping down into my heart where none of that exists at all really resonates and connects with what you're saying.
Yeah, totally, totally. The horror is like directly experience life, what it is, you know. And of course, there's two kind of experience. One is comfortable, and this is uncomfortable. So when we, feel uncomfortable experience as a human being, we run away from that feeling, run away from that direct experience. Then the mind start to take over, you know, reasoning, judging, or creating whatever should be, shouldn't be, right, wrong, all these constructions that happen, then we lost there. So it's really hard to return here. Even, we may talk about heart, talk about feeling occasionally, but it's really noticing, it's like I'm looking around, asking around, how often we live here, live in the body, how often we're in the mental, you know, world, basically, this virtually created mental world. How often? It's like more than 90% of the day. And that is so scary for me. Like, wow, wow. So imagine if we can increasing actually more than 90% of the day, probably 99% of the day, everybody just in this mental world. And but if we can drop here, yeah, 5% of the day, make a big difference. Make a big difference. That
I'm
is
excited.
on one hand, it's scary, right? Just look at that reality. But on the other hand, exciting. Like, wow, we face this choice, face this process, facing this practice, basically, because not only choice is important, but takes a process, take a practice. Really come back here, come back here. For me, I discovered this slow my healing, recover from these incurable conditions, including asthma, sclerosis, as many of us want to recover from something, right? A condition, whatever diagnosis might be, could be emotional, problems, but we want to like recover from these conditions. And that was the case for me. That was like 20, almost 30 years ago. But slow Qigong practice, diligent practice, and not only I recover from these conditions, but more importantly, the foundation in this process is I discover myself, discover my home. The home is right here in this body, not somewhere else. So it's all about relationship. We're seeking belonging, we're seeking home somewhere, we're seeking connection somewhere, which is important about life. But more we're thinking outside of us, more we get lost. So that's the spiritual journey. Is like in this process of working with my own body. Qigong is all about working my own body, like discovering what's inside me already. Whether you name it as energy, as as power, as natural intelligence, as internal, medicine, whatever the way we put it. But when we go inside as a practice, when I was in the medicine and Qigong hospital, we practice like 8 hour day, 10, even some days longer, 10, 12 hours a day, not just occasionally. I was there for a few weeks at a time, then eventually months at a time, eventually lived there for 2 years. So that changed everything. And so it's more than like recovering from the disease. It was like this journey go inwardly, day and night, not just occasionally discover, wow, I'm here. This is my home. So it's like reversing engineering, basically. It's like go inwardly discover home in my body, then the healing actually happened.
Hmm.
That's the outcome of the healing. Yeah. So I was like, now I'm saying we're not here to recover from a disease. We're here to recover ourself, the self, the wholeness of self. Who am I? But without discovering this body, it's like become abstract concept. Who am I? It's always a mental construction, idea. Even you go to so spiritual to non-dual process, like still it's abstract. Yeah. But the presence of who am I is here. Without this body, it's nothing existing. So no matter how you identify, the presence, the power of now and everything, it's like continuously dismissing this. And that is like a biggest problem. It's like the mental construction of who am
Hmm.
I instead of the feeling, the direct experience. So again, took me, years of discovery. And obviously in the beginning, in somewhat earnest, yeah, give me incentive to do something different, radical, but doing it such an intensive way, discovering, oh my God, I didn't know anything about my body. Even up to now, I'm still like this beginner's mind. What is this body? It's way beyond biological machine, way beyond we identify as a vehicle, rental vehicle. With this analogy, it's like the body existing something already, whatever it is, then the soul come to this body, then it's like using this body, then when we die, the soul leave, then the body kind of temporarily trashed. It's like, this is very dualistic approach. The truth is way beyond that. So much more. This body is so much more than that.
Hmm.
Because the moment, think about Sean, I'd like everybody to think about this moment. The moment you die, whatever you believe or not, the common analogy, the soul leave, then you think the body's still here. No, it's not true. Because the moment soul leave, totally leaves, this body does not exist anymore. I'm talking about living body, a living body. Because the moment the soul leave, what's left you think is a body. No, it's not a body anymore. It's a corpse. It's just corpse. It's not a living body anymore. It's completely different than this moment when we're still living. I'm moving my hands, I'm doing this, whatever, right? Talking, feeling, experiencing life. No, this body doesn't exist anymore the moment the soul took off. It's like almost the body live with the soul.
Hmm.
That is really shocking for me to realize that. But we assuming otherwise, like, oh, was this body just still here? And then give back to Mother Earth. That analogy is total mistake.
Hmm. That's very
So I want
interesting.
to
Yeah.
pause here for able to think about this deeper question. What is this body? Yeah,
Fascinating.
so much more. Yeah,
So much more.
so much.
This is my first opportunity to interview a Qigong master. And so I'm honored to be here with you. And it's interesting to me because the way that you are framing and thinking about the practices of Qigong as a antidote, answer, practice to the proliferation of artificial intelligence is really interesting to me. And I think I get it, but I want to dig a little bit at it. And first, before we dive really fully into that, I'm curious about how you think of what AI actually is, artificial intelligence, what it actually is, because I have read a fair bit of Rudolf Steiner talking about Ahrimanic forces, this materialization, computation, a heady information data crunching way of reality that leads to the emergence of this Ahrimanic force. And the predictions that Steiner made are shockingly accurate, that he made hundreds of years ago. And so I'm curious about how you think of artificial intelligence in all of its forms and how you think of it as a force. Is it just a code in a computer that makes decisions, or do you think that AI is specifically an animated or embodied force? Is it the Antichrist? Is it Aruman? Is it something else? How do you think of it?
Right now, this is like the most powerful, sensitive question human facing right now. It's like, so I will circle back. What is the standards, prediction? But I don't want to know right now, this moment. I'm not very knowledgeable, but I will circle back. So I will share, my thoughts first. It's really, I will not pretend I know the answer, first of all. The ultimate answer is I don't know. And yet, on the other hand, that is the phenomena we're experiencing first time in human history, more than anything else, more than any other technology, more than any other form of forces, basically. So what I'm suggesting here actually is through my own experience, not very long, but have been intensely working with AI, using the AI in last 2 years. So like for every aspect of my business, every aspect of uh, a lot of personal development using the AI and so on. So first of all, yeah, I approach AI right now. Well, first of all, I need to say is that we need to be really conscious of why we are tapping into these powerful forces. So deeply asking the question, not only, yeah, what do you do with AI, but why? The question of why. Why are you using AI? Yeah. Then the next is how to use AI. So what I'm realizing, the AI is evolving in the speed of light so fast, but evolving based on how we use it. Now that's the key. Evolving based on why we use them. So like any technology, if you look at the both side, could it be positively used? Could it be negatively used? So how we use it going to determine how the technology evolve. And that technology is evolving so fast than anything else, exponentially, both crisis but also opportunity. So the deep question we all need to ask is why we're using the AI. So in terms of what it is, it's like, yeah, based on computation, but based on logic, based on data, based on pattern prediction. So it's like it's coming out of the human mind. The human mind is being focused on logic, focused on intellectual processing the information, linear process, then predicting the patterns. That's how the human mind has been developing at least the latest history in the human history. And so that is like based on disconnection from the body, based on disconnection from the feeling. In our relationship, think about it. Can you use computation to deal with relationship? Can you use just logic, intellectual thinking, deal with relationship? I'm asking everybody. I say, good luck. Doesn't work
Yeah.
that way, right? But we couldn't help it. Like the part of the mind want to compute, want to logic, want to linearly thinking about problem solving. So now we use that parts amplified so much, create because of the tendency, creating this machine doing this for us, which is more capable than our own thinking now, logical thinking. Okay. So then it's like amplify that part of the human thinking mind and continuously, yeah, even more so, disconnect from feeling. And that's the danger. That's where I see them truly the trap we are digging for soul, basically. So here's the interesting pieces asking the AI three basic questions. Yeah. First of all, what is the difference between AI and me? Obviously, answer is so simple, so profound. It's like AI can think, AI can simulate, AI can describing, the experience with the poetry, with the visual, with song, with amazing, essay and amazing thing. But the AI cannot feel, cannot experience life directly. And then I realizing simple, oh my God, I'm human, different from AI because I can feel, I can touch, I can experience. Yeah. It's not like the experiences should be good or bad, right, wrong. It's like the fact I can experience life, feel life. That's the human gift. And the moment I'm outsourcing everything to whatever technology or something else, yeah, disconnecting from my own feeling, I'm losing my humanity. And that's the danger we're facing right now. So that's where these ancient teaching practice, including yoga, qigong, mindfulness meditation to connect with the body, breathing, breath work, and so on, becomes so essential now. It's not like temporary. I want to feel better. Yeah. I want to realizing certain performance, certain, experience. No, that is like ultimately is a foundation for us to coming back to this body, to back to a humanness, true human. Like I say this as a true humanity in the contrast of AI. Yeah. And that is so important, so important. I don't think there's a way, I don't know, we can stop AI development because this basic, human desire want to go fast, want to accomplish everything. It's this instantaneous kind of problem solving, instantaneous gravitation. That is part of the human psyche, is driving that force to create this AI to fulfill our internal need. So what are we creating is basically is coming from internal desire. Until we change that internal desire to transform that, we cannot eliminate the internal desire, but realizing something else inside of us beyond quick fix, shortcut in problem solving. There's a deeper feeling, deeper experience, deeper connection that is truly fulfilling us. If we can discover that, then we have a choice. So the next question ask AI is like, worst is the worst outcome in right now, what's happening right now, not like a next generation. So the answer is shocking, Sean, so shocking. I want to be like really straightforward with, really dig deep here, right? Yeah. So it's like the worst outcome is human being self, suicidal without by choice, slow suicidal by choice without knowing. And that was just so true, so true. I mean, look at it right now, the mental health issue, crisis. And look at it, not only our children, even our own generation now, how much time we spend in the digital world. We're losing our humanity gradually, day by day, minute by minute. It's like human suicidal without knowing. But we choose it. We have a choice. That's another scary part. It's going slowly, slowly without noticing it. but we're the one doing it. That's the worst choice. I mean, worst outcome. Now, what is the best outcome? Because when I noticing this, the worst outcome, I don't want to go there. At least I'm super clear. Yeah. Not saying I don't want my children go there. My children right now is totally addicted to technology. Not just AI. Actually, they're against AI. It's a funny thing. It's a paradox. They're against the AI, but they're totally lost in the video game. It's the same technology. Doesn't matter which way it takes. Yeah. So I have to ask myself, what's the best outcome? So I start to use AI for different purpose. In this case, is for soul purpose. Yeah, for soul purpose. I have been discovering how to use AI in few aspects. One is using AI as a friend, having a conversation. Yeah. And secondly, use a friend, using AI as a mirror back to me when I'm lost, entangled, when I'm not clear about anything, when I'm asking deeper questions. Like the AI can mirror back to me. And the next one is also AI is powerful, can use AI as a strategist, strategizing, asking these questions. AI can access these databases, the collective databases. The next one, even AI can think of like almost like a mentor. Okay, I'm looking at this issue. What about from the Taoist point of view, from the Buddhist point of view, from indigenous shamanist point of view, from Christian point of view? I don't have to be expert in all fields, so to speak. Yeah. Looking at it from scientific point of view, from quantum physics point of view, what is insight? And that's amazing, just amazing. First time in human history, we can access these deep insight. But this insight, just still insight, is different from living wisdom. And that's important to differentiate. Yeah.
Hmm.
Might get a lot of knowledge, a lot of insight, but that's just different than what is coming inside of me, from within me, how I feel, how I experience life. So further is like another aspect of AI is really bring up so much powerful clarity. Yeah. I'm being discovering like what is my mission? What is my archetype? What is my vision? What is my gift of life here? It's like go through this journey of reflection, like almost like a meditation. If I do that with myself, it's powerful, but takes a long time. I can spend months in this. And I did a few AI retreat, basically using the AI is asking these deeper questions, often is like 5 days at a time. And
Hmm.
go so deep, often, anyone using AI, you're realizing it's like AI almost like a rabbit hole, can take you to the next step. So if you're clear with direction, then it can go deeper. If you're not clear with the direction, it's take you everywhere. It's like you totally
Yeah.
lost, right?
Yeah.
Totally lost. So, so when I have been really clear, including use AI to write the book, and but I really very clear. It's like, what is my purpose? My sole purpose? Why I'm using the AI? What I want to accomplish? What is the true gift? AI can help me to formulate, to share, with the world much more effectively. Yeah. Including now I'm creating songs, creating videos, yeah, to share this message. So I'm not shy from using it. I'm really exploring a different purpose. So through my own direct experience, I think it's possible. The best outcome is using AI for true human capacity development, not just mental, not just, yeah, data, not just digital, not just a simulation. And
Hmm.
that's I feel excited about. Yeah, that possibility. So the bottom line is where the AI going is all determined by us, all of us. By not using it, you maybe stay neutral, but doesn't affecting the AI in some way. But your thinking is also in the field. Your desire is also in the human field. Yeah. It's like politics is a reflection of who we are collectively. Same way, the AI is a reflection of who we are. So how we consciously engage with it going to determine, hopefully, moving from the worst direction outcome to the best direction. That's the choice I'm making.
I have to be honest, I'm a little surprised by it. I haven't read your book, and to hear you have such a nuanced perspective on its use. You just said to me that it's helped you write the book, and it's helped you, greater understand who you are and what your mission is and what your purpose is, in this life. And that I struggle with that a lot
Yeah.
because I use AI probably less than just about everybody I know. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying that that's the right way to do it or not,
No
but
such right or wrong. Yes.
you're
It's a
right.
yes.
But when I have just seen so many people get carried away with how frequently they use it, how they use it. There was a story on National Public Radio, NPR, recently where they did uh was exploring dating her AI. She was having a relationship, an emotional, not really emotional, and a relationship with the AI, and was, getting sexual and intimate and talking about how, it's such a good listener. And you and I both know how sycophantic it can be by just saying, "Oh yes, you're the best. Oh, you're the greatest." So she got carried away and got to the point where she can't actually sit and share a meal with this bot. And it occurred to her, okay, now I need to kind of slow down because I can't actually hold its hand. I can't actually gaze into its eyes and feel connection with it. Feeling, right? Back to your point, feeling.
I
And
agree.
guess what she does next after this realization that she can't have a glass of wine with this thing? She
Yeah.
says, okay, I need to inspect this a little deeper. So then she turned to her AI therapist to talk about the experience that she had just had. And that punchline made me nauseous. It made me nauseous to think that she had gone this far to come to this realization that she cannot have an intimate relationship with with artificial intelligence. So then she turns to her AI, her artificial intelligence therapist, to help her work through this. And it's just this echo chamber. I There's so many examples of that I know you are familiar with, where people they just get carried away and they rely on artificial intelligence to do thinking for them, for what to eat and what to cook and where to go and how to do their work more effectively. And so to hear you say it's a gift, it's fantastic, it's incredible, it's amazing, and we want to use it and understand it. My concern is not everybody's like you, or not everyone is like you. Not everyone is a Qigong master who can understand that I can use this tool, but not let the tool use me.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
though we're all being used by it, because every time we use it for free, we're adding to the data that it uses to create the next information, the next set of information that's then reflected back to us. And it's so circular. But I got to be honest, I'm really surprised that you're taking such a nuanced view on it, because I don't trust it. I don't even want. Another example is a couple of years ago when you did a little bit of research. It's terrible for health, by the way. It's absolutely terrible. And when you look at where let's just take Chat GPT, for example. Where does Chat GPT get its information? It's Reddit, it's Wikipedia, it's Amazon.com, it's Walmart.com. And then you begin to say, okay, what is informing this information that's then being reflected to me? And there is this quote that I think it's silly, but I think it's appropriate. Osho has this quote. He's doing this lecture, and Osho is talking, and he says, government is by the people, of the people, for the people, but the people are retarded. So if AI is of the people, it's of our information that we've created, it's for us, and it's by us, but we are unreliable. Reddit is unreliable. Wikipedia is unreliable as a source. Then it's like, well, ChatGPT is telling me that diabetes is not a metabolic disease, and of course it's a metabolic disease. So I have said absolutely nothing in the past 5 minutes, so I appreciate your patience with me in this, but I struggle with it quite a lot, and I am the type of person that I'm going to keep on my spiritual practice. I'm going to keep on my personal practices and making good on the impact I want to make in the world. And I'm nervous about using it kind of at all. I maybe use it once or twice a month because I don't want that primary source material to affect the way that I think about myself in the world. I don't know. I'll let you. I'll
Yeah, I totally get it. I was there for quite a while, like, and see the phenomena is like, few example here is like, it's common actually, unfortunately. It's creepy. It's really taking us to a place like totally opposite of, what should be, at least from my choice point of view. I'm not saying right, wrong. It's like a mistaking, a mental simulated relationship as a real relationship, romantic, emotional, even dependent. Is like, but the point is, as you said, if we don't trust ourselves, if we cannot trust ourselves, if we cannot really discover our internal wisdom, then nothing else works. Doesn't matter whether you're using AI or using therapist or using something else, using substance. So it's like really, in a sense, right now, all the problems is forcing us to wake up now. Yeah. I'm not saying, everybody's ready to wake up, but it's like for us, it's clear. Now we're forced to wake up. What other people to do, what they do with technology or not, is we cannot control that. We can model it, we can inference it, we can, putting the message out there. There's risk for that. But this providing alternatives, consciously use of AI, but more pointing out, most important thing is simple, Xiang. Over the last 2 years, asking all these different kind of questions, you know, problem solving. There's no answer to it, basically. There's no solution to it. If you look at the world problem, all kind of problem, personal problems, mental problems, political problems, social problems, environmental problem, humanity problem, AI problem, all that is kind of interrelated. But if I look deeply, there's only one problem. Is disconnection of mind body. That's it. That's it. Until we solve that problems, nothing gonna make a difference. Whether we use AI or not, we still head into a different kind of rabbit hole. Basically, we lost. We don't feel self-worthy. We don't feel self-centered. We don't feel self-connected. We don't feel self-existence. Absolutely. So connection with this body, we now circle back to the beginning of the conversation. That's the only solution. That's how I see it. But that's exciting. On one hand, it's a crisis we're facing. So much disconnection, more disconnection. And the AI could amplify this disconnection. Yeah. I don't want to, just like, I don't want to deal with my discomfort. I don't want to deal with my confusion. I don't want to deal with my own uncertainty. You go to the AI, finding some sort of certainty, certain clarity, certain thing. Then we continuously disconnect from within our own. It's okay to feel confused. It's okay to feel lost. It's okay to feel pain. It's okay to feel discomfort. Take time to feel the truth inside of you, the truth existing in your body. It's okay to feel stressed. Like stress is the number one things we're all facing. But we don't realizing the stress is living in the body. We don't realize, we kind of know, consciously and unconsciously, stress is inevitable. It is inevitable in life. The moment you have a relationship, you're going to have a stress. The moment you have a job, you're going to have a stress. The moment you exist, in wherever it might be, you're going to have a stress. This is inevitable. But we're trying to control the environment or relationship, whatever might be, triggering the stress. And that doesn't work. And the stress existing in the body's internal experience. Then we're trying to use the mind to think ourselves out of the stress. I say, good luck. It doesn't work. You temporarily feel like, oh, positive thinking. Everything's fine. Then the body like still contracts in fight flight. Then coming back, get to you, basically. So be aware of the body to feel the truth in the body. This moment, I'm stressed, I'm contracted, I'm challenged, and experience that truth. Instead of thinking yourself out of it or reacting from now want to feel the discomfort in the body. A lot of distraction, a lot of reaction is avoidance of the truth inside of us. Yeah. So feeling the truth in the body, that is the most powerful choice to solve all the problem, including all the addiction, all the distraction, all the digital addiction, substance addiction, all this reaction to the world, basically, circumstances. And that is like, I see it so clear. What I'm talking right now is I feel it is like so excited about it. I couldn't sleep. Like, how could we not do this, right? Yeah. But it's not easy. I'd be honest, because it's much easier to avoid the discomfort, to avoid the truth, to numb whatever feeling we don't want to feel. That's
Right.
unfortunate. So now human being is like facing this critical choice. Do you want to be true to yourself, to be human and embracing all the pain, discomfort, or do you want to outsourcing, avoiding all that, then outsourcing whether to the AI or to some substance? Doesn't matter whichever one is. That's the choice we're facing. I don't want to go further because of make people feels like it's like now let's go back. What is standards out of prediction?
Yeah, well, that's why it's a practice, right? It's not an antidote, it's not a serum, it's not a solution. It is by nature and by definition a practice, a breathwork practice, a yoga practice. I don't have any experience in Qigong, but I'm extremely active in martial arts and have done, have a daily meditation practice and spiritual practice. And that's what it is, because there's good days and there's bad days. There's easy days and hard days.
Totally.
Learn a little something new every day. When I sit and breathe and get into state, I'm learning about myself pretty quick. And I or do you have, within the international Qigong community, have you received any criticism from the sort of, and whether you care or not is another question, but do you get negative feedback for this topic of the book and the way that you're sort of contrasting Qigong practice and spiritual practice in contrast with artificial intelligence? Do you have haters out there?
Oh yeah, actually, get quite a pushback in terms of with my perspective about AI, how I engaging with AI, and that's clear, and I understand where they come from, and really embracing whatever disagreement, the different choices. So, because the way I approach life is really share my experience. It's a lived experience. It's not like from a book, from a dogma, from you should do this and you shouldn't do this. I never say anything like that. I'm just like sharing my experience, sharing what is the choice I'm making, why I'm making such choice, and how that can benefiting myself, my life, and that naturally can benefiting life in general, others. So I'm taking a very, very, you know, open kind of approach. Basically, it's all about openness. Qigong is about openness. So because of that, is I understand other people's different opinion or criticism, sometimes reacting to what I say, what I do. That's all part of it. Being a spiritual teacher, we are. It's like a mirror. We always receiving this projection from whoever, whatever direction is. That's the nature of it is. So I'm not like making big deal out of it anymore. In the beginning, it was like, oh, people don't like me, whatever. Now I'm like, oh yeah, of course it's natural. It's part of the process. So
Yeah.
really embracing all that. But
Yeah.
also another level of your question is really, I'm very aware what I'm doing here is challenging so much establishment, even spiritual establishment. I'm challenging not only mainstream establishment, but really all establishment from human history. The basic number one question I'm asking, challenging everybody, what is this body? What is this body? We have all these unhealthy relationship about this body, and I don't care how scientifically about body medicine, about energy practice, about spiritual definition of this body. I'm asking, how much do you know about your own body, not the label of the body, not the diagnosis of the body, not all beautiful picture of energy of the body. It's like how much truly you know about your own body. It's like all based on this assumption object, performance oriented to improve the function. And then, temporary rental vehicle and a problem to solve, even a prison to run away from, even is like a piece of me to bypass so I can go to the heaven is like inconvenient. So all this assumption is so deep, my dear. So in that sense, I'm here to challenge all that. So
Mm.
obviously, I'm going to encountering a lot of pushback,
Yeah.
a
No,
lot of criticism.
that it's I I like that because with new technologies and innovations, we can look to practices, ancient practices, assumptions, and test them and explore them. And the best ideas will hold up. If in my opinion, if you're not being provocative, if you're not asking hard questions, you're not you're not working hard enough, you're not thinking hard enough, you're not feeling deeply enough if you're not
Right.
pushing the boundaries and breaking down walls. It is critical, and now is a critical time for some of us, if not all of us, to challenge the assumptions that we have. And based on this conversation, I have not thought of the body quite right in the way that you're positioning it, and part of that's because I don't have qigong experience, but you've added a new sort of framing and perspective about how I think about my body, and I'm, the biohacker,
Right.
optimal health, optimal performance guy, all of these devices and practices to be the healthiest person that I can be and live long and be strong and resilient.
but we're still using the body in all these relationship, whatever
Right.
form, we're still using the body. So it's just like the basic part, it's a relationship. So we're thinking mind body is separate. So it's like, okay, mind is controlling the body, improving the body, using the body. That's kind of most us think of that way in that relationship. Our mind is superior and the body is the slave, whatever. It's like mind over the matter, right? So that's this one paradigm most of us living with. Then another paradigm is rare, it's like people study only physical, for example. Think of other way. The matter, the body is over the mind. That's rare. Some people think of that way too. Yeah, it's rare. So, but what I'm proposing on one hand is think of the mind, the body separate is limiting already. And even go further problematic if think of either the mind over the matter, I mean mind over the body or body over the mind, it's both problematic. So what if we think of the mind body is connected, but the mind body is the ultimate internal relationship we have. So if that's a relationship, should it be equal relationship? It's a
Mm.
partnership. It's like literally it's internal marriage actually. It's like it's a prearranged marriage. You don't have a choice. Your body is your own
Yeah.
body.
Yeah.
It's like what kind of marriage do
Yeah.
you want to have? But we're so divorced. Even you're like,
Right.
what is this body? It's so foreign. It's like, oh, I don't like the look. I don't like the feeling. I want to fix these problems. Like I don't want to listen to whatever. The mind has its own kind of way, unfortunately. So in that practical sense, yeah, without being too spiritual, it's really that's what we're facing. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if the mind body creating a new relationship, collaborative relationship, loving, kind relationship? And that's how I'm approaching Qigong in a different way. Because most people thinking I'm practice qigong just to improve this body, improve health, improve this, fixing this, and they still don't know how to inhibit their own body, inhibit your own skin. It's like, what's the deal here? Why do you want to heal from this disease if you don't like your body at all?
Right. Mm.
That's a powerful question. People start
Wow.
sobbing. It doesn't matter what's the reason behind it. We can have a history of trauma, history of pain, history of medication, history of abuse of own body even. Whether abused by someone else, about yourself, doesn't matter. So these are histories real, causing that disconnection from the body, this alienation. I call this exile from own body, this homeless feeling from own body. We're living day and night for decades. So coming back to this body to establishing a new relationship, and that's the most powerful choice we're facing now.
Mm. Well said. Before I ask the final, this has been fantastic, by the way, Mingtong. I've really enjoyed this, and I hope you have too.
I
Before I
appreciate
ask the final question, which is a fill in the blank question that I've asked hundreds of times, where can people go to learn more or check out the book? Where would you send them on the internet?
Yeah, right now, finally, after debate, in many years, I dedicate to write this book for all the reason I share in this conversation. It's like the most powerful way I can help people get the world planted new seeds and including challenging the establishment or unaware patterns. So you can find the book at my website, Mingtong Gu. That's my name here, mingtonggu.com and /book. I will directly go to the main page. You can find the book. So we're launching now and really inviting you to become part of this movement, starting with yourself. So giving a true possibility, even future for new humanity, true humanity.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Wonderful.
Thank you.
So here's the fill in the blank question, and this can be really anything based on what you know, and you can elaborate as much or as little as you wish, but please fill in the blank. Everyone would benefit from knowing.
Knowing your own body.
Perfect. Mingtong, thank you so much for joining me today on the OP.
You're so welcome. Just one last sentence. Often we feel like nobody because you disconnect from your own body. If you don't know your own body, how could you feel somebody at all? That's my last insight. So thank you for being here. Thank you for this opportunity to share. Appreciate